Greetings and welcome to All Hallows Eve, otherwise known as Halloween. In today's video, we're looking at this NECA Toys Leatherface figure from one of the most scariest, most renowned horror movies of its time, 1974's The Texas Chain Saw Massacre. Stay tuned.
Hello!
Welcome back to the channel, and yes, in today's Halloween special we are looking at this NECA Toys Texas Chain Saw Massacre Leatherface figure. Obviously we've already looked at the ghost-faced figure from the Scream franchise, and obviously that was an obvious knockoff because the quality on it was absolutely shocking. This is the second OnBuy purchase that I got. I got it from a completely different seller, so not the same one that I purchased that. Again, this one was roughly around about £12, so I got, obviously, when you take into account the two of them, roughly about 24, half the price of what a normal NECA figure usually is, because they're usually about 45 to 50 quid, depending on where you get them from. So let's take Ghostface out of the way just to clear a little bit of space. He's still got those wobbly legs. He does not stand up at all. I've done nothing with him actually since there, so I've not put him on display since I did the review because I've got nowhere to bloody put him. Let's move the pumpkin as well. Jolly Jack a lantern there. Let's move him out of the way and let's concentrate on the actual figure itself. First of all, we'll look at the packaging, and that's based on the artwork from the poster of the movie. Who will survive and what will be left of them? Now, this was a very controversial movie when it was released way back in 1974. Co-written and directed by Tobe Hooper. And, loosely based on the Ed Gein story, who was obviously also the inspiration for Normal Bates in the Psycho novel and subsequently Hitchcock's Psycho film. He was the guy who obviously was a serial killer, killed people in the 40s and 50s, and when he disposed of their bodies, he would bleach the bones, take the skin off, he would wear the skin, and he made lamps and chairs and stuff out of the bones of his victims. So very, very bizarre. The sun's just coming in now. It's been a very, very windy and rainy day. So I am filming this in natural daylight. So the sun's just trying to peek through the clouds, which is why we've got this light here. So some good image on the front. You've got the Texas Chain Saw Massacre on the side there. On the back, you've got some photographs there and a montage of the figure and telling you a brief synopsis of the film. It was marketed as a true story or based on a true story, and obviously that's what, most of the best horror films tend to be marketed as. Absolutely nothing could be further from the truth. Nice image there of the Leatherface character. It's been a couple of years since I last watched Texas Chain Saw Massacre. I've not done a horror film marathon this year. The first year I've not done it for ages. As far as I recall, he never wields the chainsaw in this actual outfit. He only wields the chainsaw when he's wearing his suit. And there is another NECA figure of that. But yeah, obviously you've got to include the chainsaw with a Leatherface figure. It would be rude not to. Anyway, the packaging looks okay. It looks fairly printed well. Again, this could be a bootleg. It could not be. As I said, it's from a completely different seller. So it may be genuine, it may be not. So why don't we open it and find out? The inner cardboard sleeve is the entrance to the doorway, that famous scene where one of the 5 teenagers is wandering around the house. They see a completely metal door. They don't realise it's a door. They think it's part of the wall. And then suddenly it slides open. Leatherface is there. He whacks the guy on the head, completely knocking him out with a hammer, and then just drags him into his lair as he's then kind of like the guy is going into spasm. It's quite a realistic, brutal scene. And you can see why, obviously, this film was quite controversial when it first got released. This sunlight's playing real havoc with this video, so we'll just persevere. Obviously, we've got several extras here. We've got the main figure. This popped out as I was getting out of the package, so that's his faithful chainsaw, which we'll have a close look. Does come with a swappable head, as like most NECA figures do. And you've got all the various kind of like utensils here that he also comes with. So let's get him out of the packaging. Those legs look very, very wonky. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Well, out of his plastic prison, and already this is looking a lot better as a quality of a figure. It's very well detailed. I do like the detail on the face there. That's very gruesome. I will have a look at some other genuine like reviews just to see if they've got a similar kind of paint job, but this is looking good so far. I'm loving the kind of like, is that actually real leather or fake leather? That's a very nice touch of his apron there, and I'm loving the blood splatter on there. The arms look a little bit fragile, especially these wrist joints. Nearly broke this arm off trying to get him out of the from the cable ties as I was taking him out of the packaging. The legs were a bit wonky at first, but I have straightened them up. And obviously Gunnar Hansson, who was the guy who... Was it Gunnar Hansson or Gunnar Hansen? The guy who played Leatherface famously for this movie. And I think he came back for the sequel as well. Then after that, I think they had other actors playing Leatherface, but obviously he famously was the original. He was a very, very tall fellow, and he had a bit of a kind of like a strange kind of like a walk. So that looks like that's been replicated in this. There's a slight paint job on the shirt, slight dirtiness to it, but it's mainly on here. I'm loving the paint splatter on this. And the detail on the face there. You can see the eyes underneath that mask, that blank kind of look that he had when he was just kind of like staring at his victims with the face kind of like, you know, licking his lips from underneath the mask. A very, very iconic, would you call him a monster? I'd probably say more horror icon. A very, very much a modern horror icon. The tie is actually made out of plastic, so that's sticking out a little bit. So I don't know whether it's best to probably put that underneath the apron. I'm just going to go and probably have a look and see what he actually had. Did he have the tie over the apron for the movie, or was it over the apron? But yeah, this is a lot better quality than the Ghostface figures straight from the off. At least he actually stands unaided, which is always a start. So, I have just done a little bit of research. Well, shouldn't you do that kind of research before you film a video, Jason? Yes, all right, perhaps I should. First of all, I looked to see if he has the tie over the apron, and he does. That's the look that he has in the movie. I then went down just a little bit of a rabbit hole for about 5 minutes, just looking at a couple of reviews of fake NECA figures of the Leatherface, and the genuine ones. Now, one of the channels that I watch on a regular basis who does a lot of NECA is called The Review Spot. Check out his channel. It's really, really good. But yeah, The one that he'd done was from 50, no, not 50 years ago. God, of course, 7 years ago. And that figure looks slightly different to this one. But obviously this figure has been re-released several times by NECA. The blood splatter was more like just spots rather than like this kind of like thing. So obviously we've got blood spots, but we've also got like smears and as if it's like dripped down. Now, subsequently, I watched another video and they said that a genuine NECA figure has the stitching like this on the apron, has the paintwork of the blood splatter like this on the apron, and then compared it to a fake, and the fake actually had just really large spots, very badly placed across the apron, and the stitching was far more into the apron itself and far larger. So, with that in mind, I am erring on the side that I have actually just got a genuine NECA figure for about 12 quid off OnBuy. Now again, that old myth about the trademarks not being on the feet or being on the feet, well, you know, there's some lettering on both of those feet there. So we've long since kind of like said that, well, that doesn't really matter. That's not a way of kind of like spotting out whether a figure is genuine or not. So yeah, I actually think this is more erring towards genuine. If it isn't genuine, it's a bloody good bootleg because yeah, it's got very, very firm joints. Obviously, you know, NECA figures sometimes are a little bit fragile anyway, but it's not loose. It's not like the Ghostface figure. So yeah, from what I've seen, I think we may have just bagged ourselves a bargain. Now, the extras, obviously, it comes with the standard chainsaw, and obviously you can already see there is some great paintwork on there. Lots of blood, lots of splatter, lots of wash detail in the chainsaw itself, and lots of kind of like embellishments and silverwork. Do you hold it that way? I think you hold it that way. Yeah. Or is it that way? I don't know. I've never wielded a chainsaw before. I've used a hedge trimmer, which is kind of like a smaller version of a chainsaw. But yeah, so there you go. Some nice detail on the chainsaw. We've also got, as we saw, several different murder weapons. Let's just pop all these out here. So we've got kind of like a... what's that? Is that like a crowbar? No, that's the hook, isn't it? So that's the hook that he puts these victims on, and he sticks them through the back there. And that's quite a graphic visual sequence. And I know one of the best things about the Texas Chain Saw Massacre and why it had such an impact is because it's not as violent as what everybody makes out. There's a lot of implied violence, and I think it leaves a lot to the imagination, which is what a good horror film should do. We've got a blade here. Okay, some nice detail on that. Obviously it's got like a little thing tied round it there. We've got a meat cleaver, which is there. Again, nice detail on the handle. No blood on that one. Must have cleaned it. And then we've got the famous, iconic hammer that he uses to whack his victims over the head with. That's very good. I think I'm going to have him with the hammer and the chainsaw. So those are the accessories there. There is one more accessory, which I'm just going to try and pop out now. And that's the alternate head of him wearing the female face, which he dons, I think, at the end of the movie. That's the one he smears with makeup. But yeah, again, look at those deadly eyes underneath there. And the paintwork of the mouth as well. So you can see his mouth and his teeth underneath the mask. You've got that kind of decaying kind of like wash on the skin. That's very, very gruesome. Now, a couple of the reviews did say the peg that the head is on is quite delicate, so I am just gonna... Oh, that popped off okay, but as you can see, compared to like Marvel Legends and Black Series, and like DC Multiverse and other figures, that peg joint is very, very thin. And look, it says number 2, so that means it's obviously that's the second head. Pull that in. I don't want to bend this. This is because if you break that, right. That's very, very delicate. I'm just going to leave it there. So I'm just going to show you obviously what it looks like with the other head on. But yeah, obviously he wears that mask for a bit of the movie. But let's just... I just want to be really delicate with this. I don't like that peg joint at all. It's very, very delicate. That's far too thin. And then we've got number 1. So let's just gently put that in there. There you go. That's slotted in quite nicely. That's the iconic look. That's Leatherface as we all know him. But yeah, I'm really liking this figure. Let's put him with the hammer and the chainsaw. And let's see what it looks like. And there he is, holding that hammer, ready to strike his next victim in the head, and also wielding his iconic chainsaw. I am really loving this figure. I think it's actually made me want to go and have another look at the Texas Chain Saw Massacre and watch it again. I may just watch it tonight as I'm filming this video. Obviously, this is going to debut on Halloween, October the 31st. So whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a great time. I hope if you're going trick-or-treating, I hope you've got some great costumes. Yeah, I hope you have a great All Hallows Eve. And if you can get this figure off OnBuy for roughly around about this price, and he looks like this with the stitching on the apron as it is, and not like big chunky stitches, and with a very detailed blood splatter, chances are you're getting yourself an almost genuine or genuine NECA figure. You can never be 100% sure, but for 12 quid, this guy is a bloody bargain. Well, thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, then please leave us a like. It really does help out the channel. Also share it among anybody else who likes NECA horror figures, as well as those action figure types in general. Lots of cool stuff still to come, including something model related from Airfix. That is a Doctor Who model, which we've never really covered before on the channel, so stay tuned for that. If you've not hit that subscribe button or that notification bell, then hit those buttons straight away. That way you're not going to miss out on any of the content. Also, if you want to continue to give your support, as you do, and I'm really, really thankful, you can always hit the link in the description below. Buy me a coffee. Don't have to, just a suggestion. Anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you very, very soon on Bearded Geek Toy Reviews. Take care. Bye now.